Furries hack Disney.
I often don't talk about Mickey Mouse, ladies and gentlemen, a whole heck of a lot, but boy, we gotta talk about that Disney hack, ladies and gentlemen. 1.1 terabytes of information dropped out into the world to download. Now, late one July evening, Disney employees had to see something from a group known as Null Bulge, where they said, "Hey there, folks, it's us
Null Bulge? Oh, that is a name.
again. Yesterday, we leaked a small database. Now we leak the big guns. 1.1 terabytes of data, almost 10,000 channels on Slack, every message and file possible dumped, unreleased projects, raw images."
Okay, this is big. Why? Oh, because it's Disney. It's a woke mess of people who hate everyone who is not a woke lunatic. So, these Slack channel messages are probably gonna be ridiculous. That's one. Second, cancel projects. Okay? Everyone knows Disney hates you and the fans and everyone who watches them. But the cancel projects, now that is what Star Wars fans are gonna be really upset about. Because you can... Just a couple of the canceled projects that they canceled sounded so good. I have never talked about this, but there is a bunch of stuff Disney has canceled for Star Wars that actually had potential. And instead of that, they go with things like Kenobi and the Acolyte. Yes. People are gonna flip out when people start actually reading this and discussing what's in here. It's gonna be wild.
And code, some logins, link to internal API web pages, and more. Have fun sifting through it. There's a lot there, and there's a lot to gather intelligence off of. So it wasn't just conversations. I mean, we are talking apparently dog pictures shared by employees. And again, one of the things they said was, bet they never imagined taking down Club Penguin servers would cause this much shite. So yeah, Disney gets absolutely your goat seed effectively. And, you know, the story is actually hilarious. Somehow more funny than the furry hack, okay? And speaking of furries, I decided to see what kind of a group behind this. Who is this group known as Null Bulge? Now, I have to censor this just a little bit. This is an image of a lion, okay? It's not your Aslan the tiger from Narnia.
I can imagine. You also probably can figure out what kind of pose that lion has.
You know, he's got a bit of a bulge, so to speak. A bulge so big, I have to put a mosaic effect. Otherwise, I'm sure this video could get hit with a community guideline strike, okay? It's a little bit, it's a lion cock, okay? So this group is Null Bulge, who is a hacktivist group protecting artists' rights and ensuring fair compensation for their work, marking yet again another story
Seems strange, not gonna lie, but okay.
of furry hackers basically making a joke out of billion-dollar companies like Disney. So according to them,
Hey, Disney was already a joke before they even intervened, okay? Now it's probably gonna become a bigger joke.
asked, "You hacked me, why would you do that? We're sorry we had to do it to you, but we only do it if you've committed one of our sins." Now, what kind of sins go against the Fur Bible? Crypto promotion. We do not condone any form of promoting cryptocurrencies or crypto-related products and services.
Ooh.
So yeah, they're looking at you, crypto influencers. AI artwork. We believe AI generated artwork harms the creative industry and should be discouraged. Any form of theft? Do you steal from Patreons? Or you committed a sin and now you are hacked. So as I say, their whole goal is
Stealing from Patreons. Oh, wait, maybe they mean patrons. If you have a Patreon and you steal from the people that, you know, subscribe to you or whatever it's called in Patreon. Or maybe they do, or maybe they legitimately mean that there's a huge issue of Patreons getting hacked and people losing the money. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's the first time I honestly hear about that, if that's a real thing.
To protect artists across the world. Our mission is to enact ways to ensure that theft from artists is reduced and to promote a fair and sustainable ecosystem for creators. Our hacks are not those of malice. No, 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 no. That wouldn't be Jemmy. But those to punish those caught stealing. Big and small theft meet the same fate. Be wary where you get your content from, because we will work tirelessly to develop and implement solutions that protect the rights and livelihoods of artists in the digital age. So, ladies and gentlemen, their whole job here is basically to protect, as you can read, artists. Okay, that's basically what it comes down to.
But is that what they're doing?
Now, why would this group, this furry hacking group, attack Disney? Well, that's because Disney has basically been in the news for, being in this fire between artificial intelligence, especially generative AI, and of course, the rights of the people developing and producing creative content on the internet. So if you've ever followed what has effectively been happening with Disney, they've had entire writers like Neil Gaiman, Tess Gerritsen, basically going up, forming a group known as the Disney Must Pay, which is
Okay, yeah, but that's writers. So, they talk about artists, but it's also writers? Or do they mean artistry as in someone took a shit on a piece of canvas and that person so just magically happened to be Hunter Biden, and then it mystically sold for 200 million? Is it that kind of artist, or,
again a group designed to help Disney pay royalties for best-selling novelizations of Star Wars and the Alien franchise, right? And again, royalties are important. In the day of online streaming, in the days of it, obviously paying for royalties is exactly what these artists want. They want these companies like Disney that are making millions, if not billions of dollars in revenue.
Well, yeah, but that's because every artist believes that they are literally God's gift upon Earth, and, that they... bro, so someone draws a flower, that's it. Okay, now I'm taking 50% of anything that this thing makes. No, artists are a joke.
To pay a fair share to the people that effectively allow some of the top executives at Disney their cozy and comfy lifestyles, okay? Without these artists, without these people producing the content that we grew up enjoying.
He's literally, by the way, technically describing communism.
Without them getting a fair share for what they have put in, Disney should not be allowed.
But what do you mean a fair share? I absolutely hate it when you call something a fair share. Okay, artist made some kind of asset that was used in, let's say, The Acolyte, episode 5 and 6. That asset was visible on the screen for a combined grand total of 10 seconds between two episodes. And now this artist gets what? $10 for every time someone watches The Acolyte, any episode? $10 every time someone watches that? What did they get? 1% of any money that Disney ever makes off of the project they were working on? How is that a fair share? You understand how many people actually work in that? How many people are needed to actually make this whole thing work? Do the accountants get, a fair share of Disney's profits because they paid all the money and without them nothing would ever work in a company? Do the accountants get that? What happens if the company loses money? Disney is 60 billion in debt at this point, if not more at this point, honestly. So, do the artists also get a chunk of the debt of the 60 billion that they need to repay? We're talking about the fair share. So, what is fair? It's not a simple question, okay? There's no simple answer to this, if you even want to entertain it.
To enrich themselves. That's basically the general idea of it, right? And of course, there's also other big situations. You might have heard of something known as the SAG-AFTRA strike, where artists were effectively actors, so on and so forth, were actually fighting against things like artificial intelligence regulations. Or more importantly...
And, we're talking about Disney. AI probably can make better slop than Disney at this point. Let's be completely real. Pixar's losing money, Disney is losing money, Lucasfilms is losing money. The big one is obviously Pixar actually failing under Disney. That is impossible. Pixar was something that typically could print money out of thin air, and now it's losing money on projects under Disney. Okay? AI replacing these people could probably create 10 times more appreciative slop than these writers and whatever that you want to call them. So, is it actually bad that Disney replace everyone with AI? I personally, as a consumer of Disney stuff, kind of want that to happen. Because the artists are already the lowest of the low. The talent is the lowest of the low. AI probably can easily do a better job.
Using, an actual actor or actress's training data, they could generate synthetic actors based on them, and basically these people wouldn't be regulated. Now, obviously, consent is an issue, copyright is...
Well, look at the woman who plays Ocean May in The Acolyte. She literally has not... For 8 episodes, which is roughly the equivalent of, what, 4 hours-ish of screen time, where she has been the majority benefactor of this screen time, she has never done a face other than... Yeah, that's it. That's her expression for everything in life. There is no happiness, there's no sadness.
It's a massive issue. But these are things that have to be answered with serious regulation down the road. Everything that we've seen until now with these unions and whatnot are effectively just like stopgaps, okay? Just because a union basically wins in the short term doesn't mean that these companies aren't going to try using AI in the long term. So that's kind of the general understanding of why this group was targeted. That is the context as to why this group Null Bulge used against them. Now, it's interesting enough to understand how this...
I'm kind of okay with them going after companies that are really bad, but, I mean, like, come on, it's Disney. No one at Disney is worth their salt and money.
This hack could have happened. And this is where it goes into the absolute Looney Tunes of fucking hilarity, okay? Now, Disney has actually dealt with serious hacks before. For instance, back, just like a couple years ago, when Disney Plus, you can go onto their Reddit and literally look at people who had to deal with hacked accounts. Information that was allegedly grabbed and sold on the dark web. User accounts that were hacked, sold on the dark web in repositories, and this caused pandemonium for, again, people who were subscribing to the Disney Plus service. So one hack is bad, okay? But now when your entire organization gets a 1 terabyte hack and leak of unreleased projects, it can be fucking catastrophic, okay? Imagine investing hundreds of millions of dollars into an IP, and then all the information, all of the actual IP that you were working on, especially unreleased material, just gets leaked out to the world, okay? It's kind of the same situation to Grand Theft Auto 6 when like a whole bunch of its like information was leaked out. And they were lucky that just, debug videos from like years of development footage were brought out. Imagine if GTA 6 source code or entire scripts to the game's storyline were leaked out. It could...
I'm no tech guy, but even I know that these two situations are completely different and uncomparable.
Cause Rockstar to basically abandon that version of the game and restructure entire things, causing a further multi-year-long delay on GTA 6, and then hundreds of millions of dollars basically thrown into a fucking flaming fire pit just because of an actual hacker. So sometimes companies get lucky in that instance, sometimes they don't, like Disney in this situation, because a lot of this information seems to have actually been pretty legit. So again, when you look closely into it, some of the actual stuff that was leaked...
Also, the thing that's going to come out of this is probably lawsuits. It's going to probably be lawsuits. Because it depends on what kind of things they got there. Slack, who cares about Slack? It's just something that computer monkeys use. No one cares about them. They are at the bottom of the barrel, and AI is going to replace them faster than they can even understand that, okay? They're going to be sweeping floors in McDonald's in no time. The rightful place where every programmer should be, by the way. But if there's emails from big people, I hope there's emails from big people. Imagine seeing the email conversation between Kathleen Kennedy and, well, anyone else, honestly. Bob Iger or whatnot. It would be wild. I hope that comes out. I hope that's in there because that is the juice. That is the juicy stuff.
So,
and a lot of people, depending on what would be in those emails, are probably going to sue. Because this is no secret, this is confirmed at this point, that Disney's policy is to never promote or hire white males. So, if you're a white male at Disney, and you have emails about you never being able to be promoted because you're a bad white male, well, that is the easiest lawsuit in probably the history of America. So there you go. Fun times.
according to, how Null Bulge operates and a bit of the new stuff that's been floating around, the way that the actual hack worked was using a Trojan horse malware, right? So basically, you run
some idiot clicked on an email attachment.
A piece of, Trojan horse on your system, and it allows backdoor access into your system. So basically, a Disney manager, yes, a Disney manager of software development, by the way, okay, somebody that knows that this is wrong. This is not some Bob in accounting running a fucked up PDF file and then getting infected. No, this is somebody in software development. They downloaded a video game add-on.
This just proves that Disney does not have anyone with a single shred of talent left anywhere. And, well, software development, that's pretty close to CGI, honestly, all things taken in broad strokes, right? And imagine you're a software developer, and you get actually baited into something like this. That is insane.
You can't make this shit up. Billion-dollar company gets compromised by somebody who...
Soon to probably be million-dollar company because they already took a Star Wars, $1 billion franchise, and made it into nothing. So, Disney's on their rightful way of becoming $1 million company.
Doesn't want to pay for a game mod in which the group had apparently hidden malicious software and gained access to Disney Slack. So obviously it was in this situation that once they had gained access, they could gather all the, they could do their little, intel gathering and then download a bunch of the stuff and then leak it to the world. Download at least 1 terabyte's worth of information, crazy enough as it sounds. So Null Bulge is known to hide malware in video game add-ons and cheap AI image generators. So if you're cheaping out and you're, pirating video game mods, which are kind of controversial topics, right? Like people have always said, why do I gotta pay for a video game mod? If you are absolutely,
Why do I have to pay for something someone else took the time to make? I love communism so much. It literally makes no goddamn sense in the modern day on any level imaginable. It's just beautiful and how stupid and useless it is. Anyway, that said, I'm done. That was Mudahad. 10 out of 10 Disney. Burn.